He regrets marrying his wife. Today, he sits helplessly in a wheelchair, broken and forgotten, regretting every single day of his life for marrying the wrong woman. He never loved her. It was his mother who convinced him to marry her. And now, Mr. Anthony is weak, sick, and starving, while the same woman he once called his wife watches him suffer like he doesn't even exist. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel and watch this story to the end to avoid the mistake he made. Mr. Anthony was a school teacher who was living well, healthy, and happy with his little earnings. He wasn't rich, but he had peace. He loved his job, he loved his quiet life, and he was content with what he had. Every day after school, he came home to his small apartment, ate his food in peace, and thanked God for life. But the pressure to get married kept coming. His mother always reminded him, "You need a wife, Anthony. You're not getting younger." One day, his mother told him about a girl named Linda. "She's my best friend's daughter," she said. "I watched her grow up. She's beautiful, well-behaved, and ready for marriage. You won't regret it." Anthony didn't feel anything for Linda. The first time they met, he noticed she was cold, quiet, and always on her phone. She didn't ask anything about him, and she didn't even laugh at his jokes. "Mama, I don't think she's the one," he said. But his mother insisted. "Marry her, Anthony. You'll grow to love her." To please his mother, he said yes. 3 months later, he married Linda. And from that day, his life slowly started to break apart. Now after the wedding, Linda moved into Mr. Anthony's small but peaceful home. He had painted the walls, bought new curtains, and even changed the bed sheets to make everything fresh for his new wife. He thought maybe, just maybe, things would get better once they were under the same roof. But what happened on the very first night broke him. As they lay in bed, Anthony turned to his wife, hoping to talk, maybe laugh a little, or just share a quiet moment. But Linda didn't even look at him. Her eyes were glued to her phone, scrolling and typing with a blank face. No smile, no emotion, just cold silence. He waited. Minutes turned into hours. She didn't say a word to him. He finally whispered, "Linda, are you okay?" She hissed and said without even facing him, "Please, don't disturb me." Anthony's heart sank. This was his wife, the woman he just married, the woman everyone said was good and well-trained. He didn't sleep that night. He lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, wondering what he had done wrong. Was it something he said? Was she tired? Or was this who she truly was? Around 2 a.m., he gently reached out his hand to touch her, just to hold her close, to feel like a husband. She pulled away sharply and snapped, "Anthony, please. Don't touch me. I'm not in the mood." His hand froze in the air. He turned to face the wall, his chest heavy, his eyes wide open. That night, for the first time in his life, Anthony felt like a stranger in his own bed. And that was just the beginning. The following morning, as the sun rose through the curtain, Anthony looked at his wife and gently said, "Good morning, my wife. Please, if I did anything wrong, forgive me. I didn't like how you acted last night. It broke me." Linda didn't reply. She didn't look at him. She simply stood up from the bed, picked up her phone, and walked out of the room. Anthony sat there, confused and crushed. He had expected a new beginning, but instead, he was already apologizing for something he didn't understand. Days passed. Anthony went to school every morning, doing what he knew how to do best, teaching. But even with the chalk in his hand and the smile on his face for the children, his heart was slowly breaking. At home, Linda didn't act like a wife. She cooked, yes, but only enough food for herself. She would eat, leave the plates unwashed, and never asked Anthony if he was hungry. She never waited for him. She never served him. She never cared. When Anthony came home after a long day of standing in front of students, tired and hungry, Linda wouldn't even greet him. She stayed glued to her phone, scrolling, laughing, chatting, like he didn't exist. He would enter the kitchen, open pot after pot, empty. Sometimes just a small piece of meat left in cold soup. Other times, nothing at all. He didn't complain. He didn't shout. He just quietly carried his pain inside. Each night, he lay on the same bed beside a woman who didn't speak to him. Each morning, he woke up hoping maybe, just maybe, today would be different. But it never was. Anthony began to wonder if this was really marriage or punishment wrapped in a white wedding gown. And deep inside, something told him the worst was still coming. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And Linda never changed. In fact, she got worse. Her silence became insults. Her coldness turned to open disrespect. Sometimes, she wouldn't even wait for Anthony to walk through the door before shouting on the phone, "I don't even know why I'm stuck in this house with a broke teacher." She would leave the house in the morning and return late at night without saying where she went. When Anthony asked gently, "Where were you?" she would hiss and say, "Must I explain myself to you?" Anthony tried. He tried every day. He bought her gifts with the little money he had. He begged for her attention. He even prayed. But nothing changed. One Sunday evening, after Linda had thrown food on the floor because there was no meat in the soup, Anthony quietly left the house and went to his mother's place. He sat down and looked at his mother with tired eyes and said, "Mama, this woman is not the Linda you told me about. She's different. Cold. Harsh. She doesn't talk to me. She doesn't care. She doesn't even act like I exist." His mother, without lifting her head, simply said, "Anthony, you'll get used to her. That's how women behave sometimes. She'll change as time goes on." Anthony looked at her and whispered, "Are you sure, Mama?" She didn't answer. Anthony stood up that evening with a heavy heart. As he walked home, he felt the quiet kind of pain that has no tears, just silence and weight in the chest. For the first time, he realized he was truly alone. One cold night, Anthony woke up shaking. His body was burning with fever. He was dizzy, sweating, and weak. His legs couldn't carry him. His throat was dry, and his chest felt like it was caving in. "Linda," he whispered in pain, "please help me." She turned, looked at him, and said nothing. He reached for his phone to call someone, anyone, but before his hand could grab it, Linda snatched the phone away. "I will not give you this phone," she said coldly. "You will die on this sick bed." Anthony stared at her in shock, his mouth open, his heart racing faster than his sick body could handle. He couldn't believe what he just heard. The woman he called wife was standing there, watching him suffer, refusing him a simple chance to call for help. Each night after that, Anthony lay on the bed with a burning head and a trembling body. No medicine, no food, no water, no love. Linda would walk past him, dress up, do her makeup, and leave the house for hours, while her husband lay there, dying slowly. When she returned, she would laugh on the phone in the living room while Anthony coughed and cried in the bedroom. He couldn't eat. He couldn't sit. He couldn't stand. He couldn't even crawl. His bones began to show. His face became dry. His clothes hung on him like sheets. His voice got weaker every day until it became nothing but a whisper. And still, Linda gave him nothing. No care. No medicine. No pity. Anthony became a ghost of the man he used to be, lying in bed, alone, abandoned, and praying for death to come quickly. But death didn't come. Anthony prayed for it in silence. Every night he stared at the ceiling, breathing heavily, hoping that maybe his eyes wouldn't open the next morning. But they did. Again and again. He woke up to the same pain, the same hunger, the same darkness, and the same wife who looked at him like he was already gone. After 3 long weeks on that sick bed, news began to spread that something was wrong. At school, his students grew worried. "Where's Mr. Anthony?" they asked. "He's never stayed away this long." His absence was no longer normal. It was alarming. The students started disturbing the school authority every day until the principal finally took action. The school decided to send 2 staff members, Mr. Okafor and Miss Ruth, to visit Anthony's house and check on him. That day, Anthony lay on the bed, weak and barely breathing. His lips were dry. His bones were cold. He had no idea help was coming. But Linda, she knew. When the school staff knocked at the door, calling politely, "Good afternoon, Ma. We're here to check on Mr. Anthony," Linda peeped through the curtain. Then she walked to the door and slammed it shut. "He's fine. He's sleeping. He doesn't want to see anybody," she said with a straight face. "But we're from the school," Miss Ruth replied gently. "He's missed almost a month. We're worried." Linda raised her voice. "I said he's fine. Leave my house. He doesn't need visitors." And with that, she locked the door and walked back inside, as if nothing happened. Behind that locked door, just a few steps away, Anthony lay on the bed, eyes half open, lips trying to speak, too weak to scream, too broken to move. Hope had knocked, but it never reached him. After the 2 staff returned to the school with heavy hearts, they told the principal everything. How Linda refused to open the door, how her voice sounded cold and angry, how something didn't feel right. The school authority began to sense that something was terribly wrong. That same day, the principal asked for Mr. Anthony's file from the records office. As they flipped through the papers, they found a contact number labeled, "Next of kin, Mother." Without wasting time, they called the number. "Hello, Ma. We're calling from the school. We're worried about your son, Mr. Anthony. He hasn't been to school in weeks, and when we visited his house, his wife wouldn't let us in." There was a long silence on the other end. Then the old woman spoke slowly. "I'll go there myself." She ended the call. That evening, Anthony's mother arrived at his house, holding her wrapper tightly in one hand and a small nylon bag in the other. Her heart was pounding. She had tried calling Anthony's phone for days, but got no answer. Linda told her, "He's sleeping," every single time. But something inside her told her the truth was different. She got to the gate and knocked hard. "Linda, it's me. Open this door." Linda opened the door slowly, looking surprised. "Mama, what are you doing here?" she asked, her tone dry and irritated. "Where's my son?" the old woman asked immediately. "He's sleeping," Linda said again, trying to block the entrance. "Since when does my son sleep for 3 weeks? Move." She pushed past Linda and stepped into the sitting room. What she saw next would haunt her forever. There on the floor near the bedroom doorway lay her son, skin dry like paper, eyes sunk deep, lips cracked, arms shaking weakly. His body looked like it had been folded in hunger and forgotten by the world. "Mama," he whispered faintly, barely able to speak. His mother dropped to her knees and screamed. Anthony's mother rushed to her son's side and tried to lift him up, but his body was too light, too weak, too broken. "Jesus! Anthony, what happened to you?" she cried out, holding his cold hands. His bones felt like they could snap. His skin was dry like old cloth. His legs had no strength. His lips moved, but his voice was too faint to hear. She tried to stand him up, but he collapsed in her arms. He couldn't walk. He couldn't stand. He couldn't even sit. The pain in his mother's chest was louder than her voice. Her only child, the one she raised with tears, was now lying on the ground like a shadow of himself. With trembling hands, she pulled out her phone and called for an ambulance. When the paramedics arrived, they couldn't believe what they saw. They placed Anthony on a stretcher and covered him in blankets. His eyes barely stayed open. His heart was beating slowly. His whole body had shut down from hunger, sickness, and neglect. As they wheeled him out of the house, Linda stood at the door with her arms folded, staring without a word. No emotion, no shame, no tears. She didn't follow the ambulance. She didn't ask what hospital they were going to. She didn't care. At the hospital, Anthony was admitted immediately. Drips were fixed. Tests were run. Nurses whispered among themselves. Is this man a prisoner? How can someone be treated like this? For days, Anthony lay in that hospital bed, barely alive. But Linda never came. Not once. She didn't call. She didn't check. She didn't even ask if he survived. The woman he called wife had left him for dead. After 1 full month in the hospital, Mr. Anthony was finally discharged. But he didn't return the same way he left. He came back home in a wheelchair. His legs couldn't carry him anymore. The doctors said his nerves had been damaged from the sickness and starvation. He could breathe. He could talk slowly. But walking was gone. As the ambulance dropped him at the gate, Anthony looked weak but thankful to still be alive. But the moment he was wheeled into the compound, Linda stood by the door, arms folded, eyes cold. She looked him up and down and shouted, "So you came back alive, right? You will die on that wheelchair." Her words pierced through his heart like a knife. She didn't hug him. She didn't welcome him. She didn't even pretend. She just spat out hate like he was a burden she couldn't wait to bury. Mr. Anthony sat quietly in his wheelchair, tears rolling down his tired face. He was alive, but what kind of life had he returned to? There's more to this story. This is only the beginning. To find out what happened next, the shocking truth behind Linda's actions, and how Anthony's life took another unexpected turn, watch out for part 2. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, so you won't miss what comes next.